When penicillin was discovered accidentally by the Scottish physician Alexander Fleming in 1928, it marked the beginning of a new era in medicine. This accidental breakthrough led to the development of antibiotics, which has saved countless lives and helped to eradicate many deadly diseases. Here are some more examples of medical breakthroughs that were discovered accidentally. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted infection caused by a bacterium called Treponema pallidum. But before the 1940s, there was no effective treatment for the disease. But until the late 20th century, there was limited understanding of the condition and even fewer treatments available. That all changed in 1952, when a team of scientists at the Swiss pharmaceutical company Hoffmann-La Roche were trying to develop a new drug to treat tuberculosis. Fungal infections can cause a variety of unpleasant symptoms and can be difficult to treat. But before the mid-20th century, women had few options when it came to birth control. Many of the available methods were unreliable or invasive. That all changed in 1956, when a team of scientists at the American pharmaceutical company Searle & Co. were trying to develop a drug to treat menstrual disorders. They ended up creating a synthetic version of the hormone progesterone, which is produced naturally by the ovaries. Inflammation is a natural process that occurs in the body in response to injury or infection. While acute inflammation is usually short-lived, chronic inflammation can lead to a variety of health problems, including heart disease and cancer. Without their efforts, these accidental breakthroughs may have never occurred. So the next time you take a medication or receive a treatment for a medical condition, remember that some of these advancements were discovered entirely by accident. You never know what amazing discoveries will come from the unexpected. For many years, the only treatment available was to use corticosteroids, which have a range of potential side effects. However, in 1961, a team of scientists at the British pharmaceutical company Boots Pure Drug Company were trying to develop a new drug to treat respiratory conditions. They ended up creating a compound that had anti-inflammatory properties. This drug, now known as ibuprofen, was approved by the FDA in 1969 and is still used today to treat a variety of inflammatory conditions. When they tested the drug on monkeys, they found that it had an anti-fertility effect. Paracetamol, also known as acetaminophen in the United States, is a common over-the-counter painkiller used to treat headaches, fever, and other types of pain. Before its discovery, people had to rely on stronger and potentially more addictive prescription drugs to manage their pain. But in 1950, a team of scientists at the British pharmaceutical company Boots Pure Drug Company were trying to develop a new drug to treat colds and flu. They ended up creating a compound that had analgesic and antipyretic properties. This drug was eventually patented as paracetamol and is now one of the most widely used painkillers in the world. Further research showed that it could also be used as a form of contraception in humans, and the first birth control pill was approved by the FDA in 1960. Before the 1990s, doctors had to rely on a limited number of antifungal drugs to treat these infections. For many years, doctors had to rely on a limited number of drugs to treat this condition. For many years, the only treatment available was to make lifestyle changes, such as avoiding certain foods or making changes to eating habits. However, in 1977, a team of scientists at the British pharmaceutical companies Smith, Kline and French were trying to develop a new drug to treat ulcers. They ended up creating a compound that had anti-acid properties. This drug, now known as Simetani, was approved by the FDA in 1982 and is still used today to treat heartburn and other types of indigestion. But in 1982, a team of scientists at the German pharmaceutical company Bayer AG were trying to develop a new drug to treat angina. They ended up creating a compound that had blood pressure lowering properties. The drug, now known as lisinopril, is still used today to treat high blood pressure and other conditions. But this changed in 1988 when a team of scientists at the Belgian pharmaceutical company Janssen Pharmaceutica were trying to develop a new drug to treat bacterial infections. They ended up creating a compound that had antifungal properties. This drug, now known as fluconazole, is still used today to treat a variety of fungal infections. They ended up creating a compound that had a similar chemical structure to serotonin, a neurotransmitter that plays a role in mood regulation. When they tested the drug on animals, they found that it had an antidepressant effect. And in 1987, the FDA approved a drug, which is now known as Zoloft, for the treatment of depression in humans. That all changed when a British scientist named Dr. Kathleen Lonzer noticed something strange while conducting experiments on mice. Before the mid-20th century, there were few treatments available for ALS. That all changed in 1937 when a team of chemists at the British pharmaceutical company Imperial Chemical Industries were trying to create a new drug to treat Parkinson's disease. They ended up creating a compound that had antihistamine properties. The drug, which is now known as difenhydramine, was approved by the FDA in 1948 and is still used today to treat allergies and other conditions. She had been trying to develop a drug to treat tuberculosis, but she accidentally gave the mice too much of the drug. To her surprise, the mice didn't die. Not only that, but their tumors also disappeared. With further research, she realized that the drug had an anti-cancer effect and it soon became the first anti-cancer drug to be used in humans. If left untreated, it can cause serious health problems such as blindness, paralysis, and even death. Until the early 20th century, the only treatment available was to inject patients with massive amounts of mercury, which had terrible side effects. Then in 1941, Dr. Elizabeth Noble, a biologist at Yale University, was conducting experiments on rabbits when she accidentally injected herself with some of the serum. She had been studying a chemical called penicillin, which had been extracted from the mold penicillin. Although she did this accidentally, she noticed that her syphilis sores began to heal. After further testing, she found that penicillin could cure syphilis in humans without causing any significant side effects. Her discovery led to the development of antibiotics and saved countless lives. Penicillin was the first antibiotic to be discovered, and it was entirely by accident. Fleming had been working on a different project when he noticed that a mold had contaminated one of his petri dishes. The mold had killed off all of the bacteria in the dish, leading him to believe that it might be possible to use the mold to create a treatment for bacterial infections. Further research would eventually lead to the development of penicillin, which has since been used to treat everything from minor cuts and scrapes to life-threatening infections. Since then, there have been many other examples of accidental medical breakthroughs. Number 10. Dr. Elizabeth Noble discovered the first safe and effective treatment for syphilis. Number 9. The discovery of the first anti-cancer drug. Cancer is a leading cause of death worldwide, accounting for nearly 10 million deaths each year. Number 8. The discovery of the antidepressant Zoloft. Depression is a common mental disorder that affects millions of people worldwide. Number 7. The discovery of the allergies are a common problem that can cause a range of uncomfortable symptoms from sneezing and itching to more serious conditions like anaphylaxis. Number 6. The discovery of the antifungal drug. Number 5. The discovery of the contraceptive pill. Birth control pills are a common form of contraception used by millions of women around the world. Number 4. The discovery of the antihypertension drug. High blood pressure is a common condition that can lead to serious health problems like heart disease and stroke. Number 3. The discovery of the antacid drug. Heartburn and other types of indigestion are common problems that can be caused by a variety of factors. The discovery of the anti-inflammatory drug ibuprofen. Number 1. The discovery of the painkiller. It's important to note that while these discoveries were made accidentally, they were still the result of years of hard work and dedication from scientists and researchers. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about amazing discoveries, stay tuned for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.